Did you see the wine glass in that dance? I hope so. Anyway, right now we're going to be meeting Dave Hyman from Encore Performance Catering, and he's going to talk about wine pairing. Dave, thank you so much for being
pleasure.
here.
I'm excited.
So tell me, what would you have with white wine or a Sauvignon Blanc?
The poached salmon.
And how did you make this poached salmon?
The poached salmon, the secret to that is the longer you can let it simmer, the poaching liquid. I used at least 2/3 of wine. I used Chardonnay, one of them. And
2/3 of wine?
2/3 wine to 1/3, 1 part water. And you want to use a lot of simmering. You want to simmer it for at least 45 minutes and lots of real butter and lots of real garlic and capers and little seasoning salt. And the longer you let it simmer before you put the actual salmon face down, skin down, the better.
Wow.
And so,
Do you mind if I
sauce,
try it?
please try it, and then I'll tell you about the sauce in a second.
Tasty?
But the longer, 45 minutes to an hour at least, let it simmer.
How come it's so tender, too?
You don't want to overcook it. Most people overcook fish. And the sauce is a ranch dressing with a Grey Poupon and some capers and garlic powder.
Do you make your own ranch dressing?
No, that's the only thing I don't make. But again, the sauce, you let it sit overnight.
You should taste this. It's
I'm
really
try
good
a little
together.
Bit. Yes, I'm going to try a little bit, and I'm also going to try some of the wine.
Yes, the wine is beautiful. And the pairing is just great. So there's the white wine over there. So tell me, how did you get into the catering business? After you've experienced this wonderful feeling of the wine and the food together.
When I was in high school, I was a busboy, and I got hooked right away with the hustle bustle and the clinking of the glasses like you were doing, and the deglazing of the sauté pans with Marsala wine, the aromas. 40 years later, I can still smell the aromas. And there's the excitement of people flirting and drinking and carrying on. And you have to love the restaurant business because it's so fast-paced.
And how many years have you been in it now?
30 years. And
he has catered some of my birthday parties, and he's going to be catering it again. He's great. Fabulous.
Thank you.
You are part of the party.
No, thank you.
I mean, you become family.
Well, I appreciate that. That's one of the benefits of I've been self-employed because I enjoy the people and the venues, and I never know what menus they want or where I'm going to be. It's not boring. No. And my attention span's pretty bad, so this is perfect for my personality. Perfect.
So I hear you were in the Navy SEALs, too.
Yes, that was how I ended up was another story, but I was Navy SEAL for 4 years, from 1974 to 78. And I always wanted to get out and get right back into the restaurant hospitality business. And I worked 5 years as a general manager at a seafood restaurant. And then I realized I don't want a restaurant. I want to be my own self-employed boss. And so I started my catering business 23 years ago.
And you've got great people working for you.
Great people on call. And I'm enjoying it now more than I ever have.
This is so good.
Oh, thank you.
I want to eat more, but I want to find out more about what you would serve with the Cabernet. The
Cabernet is the lamb. It's in lollipop lamb chops. And
why do they call it lollipop? Because it looks like a lollipop?
Yes, well, this is a little bigger, but most of the time you can just right in your mouth.
There you go. Now you're going to have to taste the wine. Does it work?
It works.
Should we keep it?
It's a keeper.
Okay.
And again, the secret of this is you want to marinate the lamb for at least 2 days.
Are we marinating it with 2/3 wine now?
No. Extra virgin olive oil.
Okay.
And real garlic and a little rosemary and kosher salt and white pepper. People don't realize white pepper is the secret for this.
Wow.
And so the longer you can marinate it, the better. And then I usually grill it. I prefer grilling and then broiling.
How long do you grill it for? Oh, you grill it first, like sear it.
Well, 2 minutes on each side if you're going to grill it. And if you're going to broil it, at least 2 minutes. And if you're roasting it, it takes a little longer. These happen to be roasted today, but normally I like to grill it.
So, can I have a taste here?
Please.
I don't want to do the lollipop look here.
See if we can cut off a little.
Delicately.
Little team effort here.
This is not very delicate,
no,
but
no.
Okay. Well, I think I'm going to have to do
the
lollipop effect here. So let me see.
So a Pinot goes great with that. A Cabernet, a Syrah, Petit Syrah, Merlot.
Excuse me, I'm just getting into that flavor there. So where do you get your herbs?
I get them at Sagona's. Is a great place here near Redwood City. In Redwood City, it's a very good market.
Oh my God, that's so wonderful. I wish I could have everybody taste it at home. Can you close your eyes for a second and just pretend you're taking a taste of this beautiful lamb that's flavored in rosemary and garlic and olive oil, and now taste the Cabernet?
I think I'll have another one with you.
Great, great. So let's say we have a dessert here. What would you say would go with one of your desserts? Mention like a dessert. Pick a dessert that you normally would cater with.
One of my most popular desserts is fruit dipped in chocolate.
Okay, so what wine would you do with that?
I would do a port.
Okay.
I definitely do a port.
Like there's so many ports,
though. There's so many. A port, and I will also do a Cabernet. Okay. You can't go wrong with Cabernet also with. And then the fruit dipped in chocolate, and also I do mini pastries, eclairs, cheesecakes, cream puffs.
And they would go with?
I would go with a Sauvignon or a Chenin Blanc or some kind of, those two mostly. Right.
And when you do a catering event, do you ever do wine pairing, or is it just basically two?
Normally I don't. Normally it's the customer has one or two particular wines that they want to serve with their entree or the appetizer. So
let's suggest an appetizer. What are some of the appetizers, and what wine would you suggest to go with an appetizer?
Well, one of my favorites is dates, almonds, and bacon.
Okay.
And
what would you?
And that's definitely, again, a Cabernet would be great with that. Pinot. A Pinot would be very good with that. The bacon caramelizes with the date, and then the almonds.
So how would you prepare this for viewers back home?
I just told you, it's the simplest thing. You take an almond, a roasted almond, you stick it in a date, you wrap bacon around it, you take a frilled toothpick, you put it in the frilled toothpick, and you put it in the oven until it's cooked to the consistency you want, and then you blot it, and it takes about 4 or 5 minutes at 350 degrees. A simple appetizer. Wow. Another popular one is mushrooms and puff pastry.
Okay.
I take mushrooms and I saute them in wine and shallots and garlic and white pepper.
2/3 wine?
Always 2/3. Always. You're good. You're catching on. And then you put them in puff pastry, and you brush it with a little Italian dressing, and you just let them cover itself naturally in the oven for about 6-8 minutes until it's golden brown. That's a perfect, simple appetizer to do. Very simple. Yeah.
Dave, I'm so glad you came to join us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I'd like to thank everybody at home for joining us, and I hope that you have a chance to do some wine pairing and wine tasting at home with yourself. So I hope to see you soon. Thank you and goodbye.